I'm Scott Allen Miller. It's the 27th of November, 2022. This is my vlog of daily life in Nicaragua, and today is my daughter Liesl's 14th birthday. So we have been talking about this on the show for several days. We are taking Liesl and Luciana, her sister, to Managua for the weekend, or for Sunday and Monday, because today is Sunday, and we are going to be celebrating her birthday there. When you live in Central America, shopping is a different thing. And so for birthdays and Christmas, getting things is kind of difficult. You don't really want so many things. It's just a different lifestyle. And so doing things is much more important. So what Liesl wanted to do for her birthday is go to the city, eat lots of amazing food, and go do fun things as a family. So that's what we're doing. We got up this morning, first thing, got ready and got out the door by about 9 o'clock. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive into Managua. We headed into the city and started off going to the Hotel Brant in Los Robles, got our rooms, dropped off our stuff, and then drove on to the malls and checked out the Galleria and the Metro Centro to see what there was. We did some shopping. There is a a Korean store that the kids love to shop at. They've got everything from stuffed animals to kitchen supplies and alarm clocks and some, computer keyboards and desk lights, all kinds of things. So we went there and shopped for a while, and always find a few things. The big thing that Liesl picked out was what she calls her cat set. It is a stuffed cassette, like a tape recorder cassette, but also shaped like a cat, kind of. So it's a cat set. And she and Luciana together got a loose leaf teapot. So it's a glass pot you put loose tea into, and it makes tea for you. Liesl really likes Earl Grey tea. It's a big thing that she enjoys. So having that special teapot for her is something that she is very excited about. So we did that, and then we went looking for lunch. Checked out several different restaurants. Luciana was really not down for a food court. She's like, we are in Managua. I do not want to go to a food court. I want to do something special. And Liesl wasn't sure what she wanted to eat, so we hunted around, looked at several menus, and ended up going to Cajún Nicaragua, which you would not guess as a place for us to go or that it would exist. But it's real Cajun food in the mall, and they have a really nice restaurant, great venue. We got some amazing food. Liesl went for a huge shrimp sampler, got all kinds of different shrimp, all flavors we don't normally get in Nicaragua. It was a really nice lunch, great choice. For everything, because it's so big of a deal to get the variety in Managua. If we lived in Managua, there'd be plenty of variety. But living in Leon, we get so little. These trips to Managua and finding these cool restaurants is such a big deal. As vegetarians, as Liesl's lactose intolerant, you put it all together, and food variety is a challenge and important. So we did that. It was a huge win. Everybody liked it. I got some cool pictures, and then we went on to Xcape. That is the first venue that we were checking out, and this is the big deal for the day. It opened around 1 o'clock, so we got there pretty close to when it opened. They're in the Plaza Natura, which is on the kind of southeast part of the city, on the kind of the suburban road on the outside of the city, and they have this beautiful big plaza. It's also where the Teatro Gato is that I like to go to see live shows. So I knew the plaza, but everyone else didn't. We went in, and everybody's really excited. Like, it's a beautiful shopping area. They've got a brand new American hamburger place. Like, it's all American themed. Like, it's a big American food thing with mozzarella sticks and burgers and fries, and it's all themed like Hot Rod 1950s and stuff. And there's lots of like cool shops and stuff in there, but there's also a lot of empty space. If you're looking for a place to open something very high-end retail in Nicaragua, the Plaza Natura is the place to be. And we went to Xcape, which is much like Main Event or Dave & Buster's in the United States. It's got bowling, it has an arcade, it has laser tag, a bar, and a restaurant. It's all very classy themed, very family oriented, lots of great colors and lights and music and TV screens and live sports. And of course the World Cup is on, so we watched the Germany-Spain match while we were there. So it was really cool to get to go. I would compare it, it's very much like Main Event, but much more upscale. So we went, the big thing that we wanted to do, the girls really wanted to go bowling, because they did bowling in Missouri obviously a few years ago, back when we were still traveling back and forth between Texas and New York, and Paul was still living in Missouri, so we used to stop at his house when we would travel through. And when we did that, probably on our very last trip there, we went bowling. It was the first time that the girls really did bowling, and they had a lot of fun. I can't bowl because of terrible carpal tunnel and arthritis in my right hand, so the idea of bowling for me is completely out the window. But Dominica can do it, and she does enjoy it to some degree. So we bought an hour of bowling, which is about $28 on a Sunday afternoon, which seems expensive, and it certainly is for Nicaragua. But this is a higher-end bowling alley than I've ever been to in the United States. Very, very nice. And the girls had a really great time. They had a lot of fun. Luciana won the first round. We didn't have time to finish the second round, but they bowled for a bit. And they both got milkshakes while we were there, and we got some snacks and checked things out. And it was really nice. We really liked it. We will go back for sure and do bowling and other activities there. The whole thing is very well done. Pricey for sure, but worth the money, I would say. And not outrageous. And still just a tiny bit cheaper than you would do in the United States, but only a tiny bit. We normally expect things to be dramatically cheaper. We then did laser tag, and honestly, it's the best laser tag I've ever seen. The arena is very large, although not as well marked as it might be. I went face first into a cooling duct in the dark, quite hard. But we had a lot of fun with that. We played adults versus kids, and Liesl and I tied for first place. Dominica and I won as a team, but Liesl and I tied for the highest points individually. It is the highest end laser tag I've ever seen. They have the most like color control and team control. You have a full digital display on your gun that tells you when you've been hit, what your score is, what's going on. You can change between rifle and blaster settings on your gun. Like, it's really complex. It's multi-story, really fun, also really expensive. It's like, I think it's like $7 per person for 10 minutes or something like that. So expect to spend a little bit of money. You would spend quite a bit at laser tag in the US too, and I've never seen one this nice. Really nice, very heavily air conditioned as well. So like all these physical activities, you're not getting sweaty, even though you're in Nicaragua. I don't know why there's loud fireworks today. It's a little bit extreme. We are almost done in this location. The fireworks will be going away soon, I swear. And of course, there's church bells going off for like half this video. Hopefully, the noise reduction will pull those out. But wow. So that's where we wrapped up at Xcape. Absolutely phenomenal experience. Would go back, no question. Highly recommend it. Save up and make it a thing. I mean, obviously, if you're visiting Nicaragua, that's a silly thing to go do. But if you live here and you're looking for those kinds of activities, it's phenomenal. It's really great that it's there. From there, their arcade was really limited, like maybe 8 machines, nothing we wanted to do. So we went on to I'm going to pause because this is outrageous. I don't know if it's going to be better, but I'm losing light and don't have much choice. So from there, we went to another arcade that was much larger at a different mall, and instead of a plaza, to the actual mall. And there was actually a fair-sized arcade. And we had a good time. It's important to note, when we lived in Texas, we used to take the girls to arcades. Not all the time, but it was starting to be a thing right before COVID hit. And so we went several times and we did classic arcades, or retro arcades, where they'd have lots of the old games from like the 1980s and the 1990s. Well, I'm rapidly running out of light, and I recorded everything for this video, and then it turned out that the camera's storage is full. One of the things I really dislike about using the iPhone is that none of the data you need to know if things are working are visible when you're using the camera. All the indicators are on the other side. So if there's no one sitting here operating the camera, I have no way to know the battery's still on. I have no way to know it's still recording. I have no way to know if it's got an error message or people are popping things up or anything. That's something that I feel like could be addressed with like a little information screen somewhere. It is so popular to use an iPhone as a forward-facing video device. I feel like this is a gap that could be addressed. I know that would be expensive and add a lot of stuff, but a lot of devices handle that. It's one of the places where the GoPro just crushes the iPhone, but the iPhone does a great job in other ways. And right now, I just low light and everything. I need something that really can handle this pretty well. So I'm sorry about how dark this is now. I've been trying for about 3 hours to get this video out, and it's pretty rough. So what we discovered is that the kids love doing retro arcades. When we lived in Texas, that's what we used to go to and do all these old 1980s, 1990s games that we love from a nostalgia perspective, and the kids love because they're fun. And modern arcades aren't like that, because all those kinds of games you can just have at home. Like, there's no need to go to an arcade for that anymore. So what's at arcades are all things you can physically get in, or things that require a whole bunch of like physical aspects that make them special, and that's cool. but it's not the kind of stuff that the kids really like. They like the nostalgic games that are more like traditional video games, but things that they play in a slightly different way. So they weren't really that into it. They did play some DDR, or Pump It Up as it's called there, and they were okay with that. Dominic and I did it, and we really had a lot of fun. I made a short of that, so you can check that out if you want to see it. And so we kind of had a good time, and we got them to play air hockey, which they really haven't played in forever. That was fun. They're not like really into it. None of the stuff is really their thing. So we had a good time, but we didn't stay there for too long. Everyone was getting tired towards the end, so we called it a day pretty early, went back to the hotel, and the kids took a nap. I did some work. Paul and Dominica ran to PriceSmart, which is Costco, and bought a cake for Liesl's birthday, because getting a birthday cake here is actually a bit of a challenge for us because we don't like the flavor of Mexican vanilla, and we don't like chocolate here because people tend to put way too little chocolate into things, so it just doesn't work for our palate. PriceSmart makes American cakes, so it tastes like what we expect. So they went and got that and came back, and then around 8 o'clock, we woke the kids up and we took them to the Gastropark on Jean Paul Genis, which is the fantastic gastropark we've been using for years. Paul and I first went there when we were visiting Nicaragua in March of last year, and I go there quite often when I'm in Managua. There's so many restaurants there that we love. Dominic and I get vegan all the time. We get Japanese there. There's a new Arab place that we have not gotten to try. We really wanted to get there like Baba Ganoush tonight, but we were so full from other food, we didn't manage to do it. There's a pizza place that we like. It's a good place for cocktails. Cocktails are hard to find a lot of places, and they have more than most. So it's all really nice, and it's a beautiful venue that's all very manicured and great places to sit and walk around. And it's good for live music. Not now because it's the holiday season, but normally when I go at night, there's live music. And so the girls thought they were going to get sushi. Liesl was really feeling she wanted Japan Street, which is a sushi place and ramen place there. But it ended up that Luciana went for a poke bowl there, which is raw salmon in a big bowl. It's kind of like a deconstructed sushi in a way. Deconstructed roll, I guess. And but Liesl saw Nemu, which is the vegan place that Dominic and I really like, and she really wanted to try that. She waited. She wasn't sure, so she waited for all of us to get food. She tried a little bit of all of it, and she's like, I want the vegan. So Dominic and I both got the trio of vegan sliders, and Liesl wanted the same thing, so she got that. And then Luciana ended up wanting that too. So we got 4 of them. Paul just got a steak. And a big hit. Everyone really liked Nemu's vegan food, and it's so healthy. And you feel light because you're not eating all that dairy and stuff. So it was a really successful dinner. Liesl really liked that. Luciana really liked it. And now we have all these new places that we can go back to that, of course, when we go to Managua, every so often that's the bitter oranges falling out of the tree. They're a little bit scary. When we go to Managua, there's always so much food we want to try, but having places we know we really like, that the kids really like, is a big deal, because sometimes they want to go back places, sometimes they want to try something new. I forgot to mention, when we went to Cajún Nicaragua this morning, we had started by going to Molino, which they really like. It's a cafe, they love the food, but it turns out they only like the food at breakfast, and they stopped serving breakfast by 11, and it was like 11:30 when we got there. So we were really bummed, and we just left and went in search of something else. So that's kind of what triggered that. We had a plan, and it just didn't come to fruition. But lots of great food today, very successful. We got back to the hotel a little bit before 10, and everyone was just tired, and so it was off to bed pretty early. We're going to be in Managua tomorrow, obviously, because we're sleeping here tonight, and probably not going to hang out too late. Be heading back to Leon partway through the day. But overall, really good birthday. I think both girls had a really good time. I think this was something that Liesl's going to really treasure as a pretty cool 14th birthday. We discovered just so many new things to do, right? Activities to do, places to go shopping, and food to eat. And now that we have a car, getting the girls to feel comfortable going to Managua is so much easier, because when you take the bus, there's just so many moving pieces, and convincing them to get on the bus, and then once you're there, you've got to get a taxi around the city or whatever. But when we drive in, it's faster, and we go straight where we want to go, and we can just zip from thing to thing. Really makes Managua incredibly accessible. I think we'll be doing it a lot more in the future because it's just so easy. And for the girls, it really does fill in a lot of this missing gap. They don't like going out to eat here in Leon very much. They don't find very many of the venues to be interesting. They don't like the food. They're just not into it. But in Managua, they are consistently excited about exploring new food and have fun going out. So I think it's really important to take them there and do that stuff with them. Thanks for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe if you'd like to support the channel. You can buy me a coffee. That comes directly to me. It makes a huge difference. If you would like to really support us, share on social media, tell your friends about the show. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, absolutely ask them below. Restaurants that I haven't tried yet, let me know. Where would you go in Managua? What places have I not been that you want to know more about to eat? All that kind of stuff. Put that down there. Thanks for joining me. I will see all of you tomorrow.